All right, we're live. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Long time no speak. My name's Chris, and this is We Love Comics. Took a break for about 2 weeks. Honestly, I think every now and then I need a little break from the comic book community, especially these days. I've been watching a lot of comic book channels, just getting very negative lately and caring more about drama and trying to think the comic industry is being destroyed and all this other stuff. And you can only take so much negativity before it starts affecting you. So I'm sure many of you will understand that. My channel is not about the negativity because you could definitely succeed even in times of failure because remember, ladies and gentlemen, in the Great Depression, which was bad for the majority of people, more millionaires came out of the Great Depression than any other time in US history. So what is many people's demise can be other people's opportunities. So I like to be positive here, and that's probably why my channel is not that successful these days because I'm not into the drama and stuff. So I had to take a break for a little while. So I'm sure my regular subscribers will understand. So while I'm waiting for people to come in, let's give a shout out to my Patreon members. If you want to support my channel, you can do so at patreon.com/we love comics. You'll get your name up on this board. Every video that I do, you'll get a shout out. And if you'd prefer me to do a mention of your social network or your YouTube channel or even your own personal business instead of just your name, please let me know, and I have no problem doing that. So shout out to Sith Lord, Michael B, Kevin W, Dan L, Herbert R, Annabelle N, Jason B, Kim N, Blessed, and then the last four we have from YouTube, Kendall Kid Comics. From Instagram, we have Scott WU077. Facebook, we have Stephen L. Turk Author. And once again, with Instagram, Silver Age Surfer _comics. Trying to do the giveaway where I'm trying to give away an X-Men 96. I think at one point I said an X-Men 97. It's actually X-Men 96, which is actually a better comic. So forgive me if I did say the wrong number. But it's about in my opinion, about an 8.0 grade. It's ungraded, but it's a beautiful cover. Definitely about a $250 value that I'm trying to give away. If I can get 20 paid members before the end of this month. So there's only about 2 weeks left. And right now I have 13 members. So one person joined in since I've been trying to give that comic away. So if we can reach 20 by the end of this month, I'm going to give that away to one of my Patreon members. It's my way of saying thank you. So please check it out. Now, keep in mind, there is no minimum amount to join the contest other than the minimum to join anybody's Patreon. So that's $2 a month, but you'll get one entry for $2 every $2 you put in. So the more entries, the more chances you have of winning. So hopefully people will take advantage of that, but we'll see what happens. So this book literally just came in the mail today, and it is not a graded copy. It's a raw copy of a book. Um, It's one of the books that got stolen from me years ago. Obviously, this isn't the one, although who knows? Now, mine would have been much nicer. But the person said, in their opinion, it was what they thought is a certain grade. And I looked over this comic, and obviously, it's going to be easier to tell once I see it for myself, because pictures can be deceiving. But it looked like not major increases from what they said, but I would say at least two to maybe three grades higher than what this person was saying in their opinion what it was. And that's a huge difference in value of the book. So that's why I tell people all the time, you should really know what you're investing in and not be afraid to search things because that's how you not only get deals, but you don't miss out on opportunities. This person didn't put any major cardboard, so I'm trying to cut this without bending it because they just put it in the box with two priority mail pieces of quote unquote protection, and I just don't want it to bend because then it will be the grade that the person claimed it might be. I mean, I always tell people make sure you ask a seller to protect a book, and some of them do the good job, some don't listen at all, and some think bubble wrap is a protectant of paper. I don't understand the logic. All right, so yeah. And I'll let you guys look at this because I'm not going to show the whole book and everything, but There's no staining. They showed pictures of the entire book. There's like 15 like images of the book inside and out. So obviously you're not going to be able to tell what you think the grade would be from the camera exactly, but I want you guys, whether you're watching live or you're watching later on, I'm going to try and close this in, but this is Avengers #2. This is one of the books I bought when I was a kid. This is when actually Hulk leaves the Avengers. Because I read these books back when I was, I guess not a kid, but a teenager. And they always say issue either 3 or 4 is when Hulk leaves. No, he leaves in this one. So I just like this yellow cover. Now I'm going to do close-ups of the spine. Now, you're not going to see it, but from here up, there is a little bit of a split. So, but that's it. Just from the top of around Thor's cap and up, there's a little bit of a split. The rest of the book, no splits. The staples are intact. I want you guys to put either in the live chat or in the comments section, what grade do you think this book would be? Now, this has off-white pages, maybe off-white white. The back of the book looks just as nice. You could see the top is nice and straight, so there's no thumbnail prints or anything. The colors pop. There is no fading. There is no tears. There is no subscription crease. There's a little bit of wrinkling here, but it does not break color, but that could be pressed out. But overall, and you know what? I'm going to take it out. The book, not anything else. And I'll show you the back. So you can see. Now, to be fair, as you can see right there, there is a wrinkle, but that can be pressed out. But you can see the coupons aren't cut. For a book from about 1966, I believe, there's not a lot of tanning or anything. There's minor bit at the edge. But again, that doesn't break any color, so that could be pressed out. The staples are silver. The pages are, yeah, like I said before, the pages are off-white. No coupons cut. And you can see, because this is another thing that people, when they look at books, when they think they get a 9.8 and it comes back a 9.4 or a 9.0 and they think the world has ended, they'll grade it by saying, oh, I don't see any flaws. Well, if you have a rusted staple, that's going to thoroughly destroy the value. So right there's a little bit of a split. Actually, it's a lot less than what I thought. It's actually that. So there's a little bit of a split there. And there's a little split from this bend down. So that will take it after a pressing. And let's see what people are saying. So people are saying about a 5.6. Collect what said 3. This is definitely higher than a 3.0. Especially after a pressing. Because I don't care what a grade is at the moment. If it has pressable defects, I'm basing it on what it could be, not what it is. This person sold this book saying, in their opinion, they thought it was between a 1.8 and a 2.0. And they were saying that the edges here was ragged. Now, like I said, there's about a 1/4 of an inch to an 1/8 of an inch split here, and about an inch split there. So that is going to keep it under a 5.5, even after a pressing. But I would say easily between a 4 and a 5 for this book. This person sold it at around a 1.8 price. This book, in my opinion, after pressing and dry cleaning, would be between a 4 and a 5. Probably a 4.5 would be my guesstimate, with off-white, maybe off-white white pages. And again, I checked the staples. The staples are pure silver. So there's no rusting or anything like that. So there's no stains. So knowing that, and if people want to look these up, let's just assume between the middle. I said between a 4 and a 5. I'm thinking probably around a 4.5. I want you guys and gals, go on eBay right now, look up Avengers #2 at a 4.5. Find out the value. Remember to add taxes because eBay charges taxes. And let me know what you guys think that you would pay for this book. So again, with the yellow, it would show any staining, any especially tanning, but this doesn't have it. The red stands out. I love the red against the yellow. I've always loved this cover. Like I said, I had this when I was a teenager, and it was one of the books that got stolen. So I'm very happy. The one I had would have been easily an 8 to a 9, because I had very high grade books because they weren't expensive back then. But let me know in the comment section what you would have paid for this, including shipping and handling and including taxes. Because remember, if they show on eBay a sale for $400, they paid probably about $435 because they don't add the taxes to the end result that you see when you look up sold comics. So if you're watching this later on, you could pause the video because I want people to get used to looking stuff up to see if something is an opportunity so you don't miss out on it. And when I saw this, and I saw that this book is much better than this person is claiming it to be, to me, this was easy to pounce on. Because I can understand and I appreciate sellers who would rather have they would rather say a book is lower and it end up being higher than to say, for example, oh, this is easily a 6.0 and it comes back a 4.5. But to me, this person totally undersold this book because, yes, it's got that little bit of a tear here, a little bit of a split here in the cover, and a little bit bigger one, about an inch here. That's not wonderful, but doesn't make it ragged. Because again, I'll close in. There are no spine ticks or color breaks along the rest of the book. So it's not like it has those spine splits and the entire edge is ragged. So I don't know why they said that. Staples are well intact. And again, pure silver. So what would you guys have paid for this? Put it in the live chat. But again, I want people to get used to looking stuff up because this was a just listed book. And if you don't know the value of a book and you don't know how to grade books properly, you're going to miss out on an opportunity that somebody like me or others that do what I do, and I have many videos teaching people my secrets, will snatch this up. By the time you go to research everything, it will have already been bought. So I think this book will get about a 4.5 after a pressing and dry cleaning. At worst, it would get a 4.0. It's definitely not a 1.8. It's definitely not a 2.0. It's definitely not a 2.5. And it's definitely not a 3.0. But he sold it, or she, I can't assume. This was a buy it now. So there wasn't even a best offer. But with shipping and handling and with taxes, I paid $266.43 for this book. So it was $250 plus the eBay taxes and shipping. I think it might have been free shipping, I'm not sure. But it came out to $266.43 for Avengers #2 with many pressable defects. And if you're going to have defects on a book, things like I showed on the back where you saw that bend did not break color. So this will easily be pressed out. And that's why I recommend to people, if you're going to look at a book, a lot of times you got to make sure you take it out of the bag, especially if it's in a Mylar, because you want to hold it on an angle to the light. And Mylars will especially refract a lot of the light, so you won't be able to see the damage. Because remember, my Tales of Suspense 39, when I was thinking about getting it cracked open, I thought by just looking at it was better than the grade they said it was. But when I took it out, not only of the plastic, but the inner lining, took it off, the entire book, front and back, was a wrinkled mess of light creasing without breaking color. I am so looking forward. They should be coming back either at the end of this week or the beginning of next week, because they already have it in the grading process, and I don't want to know the grade. I want to find out with you guys. But if I would have left it in that case, I would have never seen it. So the best way, see, this is what most people grade a book as. Oh, it's a 9.8. They don't think to look at the staples. They don't think to look at the back. They don't think to look at all the pages, because, you could have a cover. Let's say this didn't have any of that. Let's just say the front of this cover looked like a 9.8. If you don't check and all of a sudden on page 17, a coupon was cut out, well, there goes your 9.8, and there goes your blue label. And that's why it always irritates me when somebody, because again, like I said, that's one of the reasons why I took like almost 2 weeks off from making a video. I was watching a lot of different channels, and I'm not going to specifically call out anybody because I'm not about that. But so many channels, they'll do the live unboxings and they'll say, oh, I expect this to be a 9.8. And they turn around, it's a 9.6. And they're like, oh, there's no way. Well, can you check the edge? Can you check the inside of the book? Can you look at the back without just saying, oh, looking at the front cover, saying, oh, how is this not a 9.8? My thing is, when so many people complain about that, and they're like, oh, I was expecting a 9.8. Well, then you should work for a grading company. If you're that adamant of knowing what you're doing and the professionals don't, you should work for them instead of just complaining. But I see that so many times. So, like I said, this, in my opinion, is about between a 4 and a 5. Again, after a pressing, probably going to be about a 4.5. And this person sold it about a 2.0 price. So I would love to know what you think. Would you have paid, after shipping and handling and taxes, would you have paid $266.43 for this book? Because I think a 4.5 is around the $400 range. So if anybody wants to look up a Avengers #2 at a 4.5, what was the cheapest one sold? And then remember, you have to add taxes. Now, of course, this isn't a graded version, but I like to buy, as you see, I like to buy raw books, especially ones that can be improved by a pressing, and you just automatically spend less money and then upgrades. And another thing I like to do, like you saw with my Tales of Suspense 39, is I like to buy graded books where I can basically see that whoever got it graded either didn't know about pressings or didn't maybe have the money to get pressings, where a book can be cracked open and you can significantly raise the value of a book based on the knowledge of knowing what can be pressed out, what can be fixed without restoration. Because remember, pressings and dry cleanings, if done properly, they're not restorations. Now, there are some people that try and do too much when it comes to cleaning a book, and they can be hit with a qualified or a purple label. So you got to be careful with that. That's why I say make sure you send the stuff to professionals. And whether people like PGX or not, I've never had a problem with them, especially with pressings and dry cleanings. So, and Daredevil, knowledge is power. You're absolutely right. So let's read a couple of the comments. If somebody wants to look up an Avengers #2, let's just say a 4.0. What was the cheapest one sold at a 4.0 on eBay? I bet it's a lot more than $266. And remember, my price that I'm talking about is including eBay taxes. Because there was a video I watched the other day of a person saying they bought a book and they were asking somebody, was it worth what they paid? and the person said they paid $900 on eBay, and the person looked it up to confirm they did spend 900. Well, guess what? The person did not spend 900 because there would probably be about at least 75 to $80 in taxes, and then whatever shipping it cost, they would have paid close to about $1,000. But most people don't want to include the taxes as part of the amount that you paid. I paid $250 for this book, and then on top of it, over $16 in taxes. So it's not like I can't say I want it for 250, because if I paid 266.43, that's how much the book was. You have to add the taxes into the total amount. And so many people don't do that. And that's why if you look on eBay, a lot of the prices that they show them sold are misleading. Because if a book was sold for 900, they don't add the taxes. So, collect what? Thank you for that. He says last sold 350. So with taxes, and I don't know if there was any shipping cost, that book would have cost probably around $380. I got this for $266.43. So I want people to get used to knowledge, because the more you know, the faster you can not have to look up stuff, and the faster you can buy something before somebody else snabs it. And there's another book I just bought this morning that was literally just posted maybe a minute, and I bought it because I saw the deal on it. Now, it's not $1,000 comic or anything like that. It's only $100 comic, what I paid for it, but it's probably going to be a $200, $300, $400 book when all's said and done. But because I knew the significance of that book, which I'm not going to get into here, I knew right away that that was a deal. So I didn't have to look things up. I didn't have to verify. I didn't have to check. I knew that was a purchase to buy right away. So if you have to spend so much time looking stuff up and looking at things and really not knowing what you're doing, by the time you realize, oh, that is a good deal, and you go to buy it, it's already been sold. And like I said, I give my secrets away for free. So that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. So let's give our shout out. Let's see. We're going to go with Major Coleman and Comic Book Ninja. Both of you are going to be today's surprise subscriber shout outs. So congratulations to that. Not a big deal to most, I'm sure, but if you appreciate it, all you have to do is once this video uploads, in the comments section, you could place a link either to your YouTube channel if you make videos, a link to your social network if you prefer to do that, whichever one. Or if you sell anything on Amazon, Etsy, eBay, and you'd like to share a link, you can do that. Or the newest thing I've been doing lately is if you have your own business and you want to share maybe a link to your website, I'll leave it up to you which link you want to put. Keep in mind, all links are going to go to spam first because I am going to verify them. This keeps any trolls or spammers from putting inappropriate links onto my channel. Any link that sends anyone to anywhere inappropriate will never see the light of day. But trust me, I've had many trolls and spammers try and put inappropriate links, and you'll notice you've never seen them because I'm smarter than they are. So if you do see a link in the comment section, it means I did verify it, I did approve it, and it's something that I hope people will check out and support, because that's what it's all about. That's what a real community is all about. So I would love to hear your opinions about this. Do you think I got a good deal? Do you think I wasted my money? Daredevil says, just got two huge great deals. Thor God of Thunder #2, CGC 9.6 newsstand, nice, for 300, and Thor God of Thunder #6 newsstand 9.0 for 217. Now, is that with and including eBay taxes and shipping? So if you get the chance, let me know. Are those prices total? Because remember, ladies and gentlemen, there's a difference between net and gross. And if you don't know the difference between those two, I highly suggest you study that, because that's the difference between a business that's successful and a business that goes under. Because if you don't add all expenditures into your paperwork, you're going to think you're making more money, or you're going to think you're spending less money than you actually are. And that's how businesses go out of business. So X Daredevil says yes. So that's a 9.6 newsstand for 300 and a Thor God of Thunder 6 newsstand at a 9.0 for 217. Not bad at all. So there you go. And one of my other subscribers is somebody I'm subscribed to, Daniel. So shout out to Daniel, who's not here right now. But he asked my advice on a comic, and I told him what I would be willing to pay for it. And the person, I won't say it because I don't want to give that away because he'll make a video when he gets it. He actually made a deal happen, and it was for the exact price that I recommended and suggested, which was half of what the seller was selling it for. And I said to him, you know, that's the difference between people that wait for deals and people that make deals happen. And that's what I want to inspire people with. So, I mean, like I said, the reason I took 2 weeks off is I got so tired of the negative Nancy's in the comic book community. So many people talking about, oh, this is the end of the MCU and this is the end of comic books and prices are shooting down and woe is me. And I'm like, okay, so those are buying opportunities. Those are chances you can make money. You could still find and make deals happen. So where even if prices have gone down, if you could still, let's say a book was 1,000 and it went down to 500, the person that bought it at 1,000 is going to be very upset. But if it's now worth 500 and you buy it for 250, you just made a deal. You made a steal. And in another year or two, you'll probably triple your money. So just because there's down times in any economy or any system does not mean that you cannot make out and become very successful. Because the majority of people base things on emotions. How long have I been trying to warn people about that? The fear of missing out. And the people that make YouTube videos where they have to have content, so they'll buy things that they probably can't afford and put themselves in major debt, and then they'll say the old, oh, I got this for a great deal, but never tell you what that quote unquote great deal is. They're ruining the community, but it doesn't matter to me because I and you guys that follow me see I get deals and I make deals happen all the time. And because I know what I'm doing, because I spent years of learning, I can find opportunities in markets that so many people in this quote unquote community say is being destroyed. I don't understand that mindset. And if you want to be a horse that attaches to that wagon, by all means, please do. They are a lot more popular than I am. But if you want to listen to bad advice because many people choose to listen to it, as they say, a fool and their money are soon parted. When I stopped buying new comics, about, I would say probably going on about 2.5 to 3 years now, I am making a living. Like you guys know, if you've been following me, I have been quote unquote unemployed since October of 2023. I don't collect unemployment. I don't collect food stamps. I don't collect government money. But what I do is I buy comics, something I love to do. I love having comics. I love reading comics. I love having comics. I love displaying comics. And I love finding deals and making deals happen. And then twice, maybe 3 times a year, I have auctions where I can actually sell things for lower than eBay charges and make decent money and not have to work and spend my time with my stray cats that I feed and spend the time with my wife instead of being at a 9 to 5 job that I hate that is making other people millionaires while your life is being sucked away. And it's a choice, but is it one that everybody should want to do? I don't understand it. If you do what you love, you never have to work a day in your life. And I try and teach people that you can actually get out of that grind system. And if you want to listen to people that tell you, oh, the market is down and comics are losing 700% of their value and, oh, this is collapsing and that's going to hell. If those are the people you want to listen to, I mean, okay. Why would I want to listen to somebody that's going to make me feel like I want to hang myself on a noose? It's tiresome, it's energy draining, and I mean, people should want to be inspired, not like told that every single day the sky is falling. I mean, come on. But like I said, people love drama. I mean, I could put that to a test one day. One day, and this is for my subscribers to know that it's specifically put for this reason. One day I'm going to put a title that literally just says, "Oh, the drama." Not say anything else. Just have that as the title and watch the views quadruple from what the normal amount is. Because those people that say they don't want drama are drawn to it like a moth that doesn't like the light they're about to walk into and be fried of. So, I mean, if you want to listen to the popular channels that are going to make you think there's no way you can succeed, I mean, misery does love company. If you want to actually know that you can actually make a living, I mean, just imagine that. You can make a living. If you love comic books, you can make a living by your job would be to go on eBay or go to comic book shops or go to yard sales or go wherever you want, find super deals on books that you know the value of because you worked hard to learn about them. Find the books that can be greatly improved with pressings and dry cleanings, turn around and sell those books, and eventually build up to the point where you are buying things like maybe Amazing Spider-Man 298 to the point where one day you get Amazing Fantasy 15 because you worked years and building up, finding deal and deal again. But just imagine having a job where you could sit at home, spend time with your family and your friends, do what you want, collect comics, which you love to do. Obviously, if you're here, I would assume you love comics. Turn around and find super deals because you put the effort and the time to make deals happen and look for deals and knew what a deal was. Turn around and sell them for 10 times what you paid for them and turn a little bit of money into a ton of money. Who wouldn't want to do that? You don't have to worry about asking for permission to go on a vacation. You don't have to call in sick. You don't have a boss looking over your shoulder. You don't have to say that every week I'm going to make a set amount of money that the government is going to rob me blind of. You have to work 40, 50 hours a week sitting behind a desk at a job you hate. I don't understand that. You could break free from that and actually enjoy your life. I mean, the only thing stopping you is fear. Once you get rid of the fear, because, I am not a trust fund baby. I don't have millions of dollars in my bank account. I have been trying to show people for years that you can survive and even thrive. It takes time. Because, like I said, and I've said, and no one's checked it so far, but 8 years ago, if you go on my channel and go back 8 years, you'll see my top 30 graded comics. It's a video I did back 8 years ago. I want you to look at all of those books that were at that time what was my top 30 books. And then I want you to look at the one I did. It was either the beginning of this year or the end of last year. My updated version of top 30, which I've done every few years, I've updated. And look at the difference between what I had 8 years ago and what I have today. I didn't all of a sudden win the lottery and was able to buy better books. I wasn't given $1 million and said, here, go splurge. I worked hard by finding little deals here and there, turning around and selling them, finding bigger deals, turning around and selling those, finding bigger and bigger deals to the point where only one or two of the books from my original top 38 years ago would be in my top 30 now. All the others wouldn't even be in my top 100 at this point. And like I said, about a month ago at this point, I did a video teaching people my secrets. But again, if you just watch that video and you don't want to put in the effort, you don't want to put in the time, and you don't want to learn, you're not going to succeed. You're going to fail. So you have to say, today's the day that I want to get rid of my job that I hate. And I can actually have the chance to do something I love. And I can earn a good living with it if I'm willing to put in the time and learn and stop being lazy. Choice is up to you. Or you can listen to these popular YouTube channels in the comic book quote unquote community that are all over the comic book quote unquote community who are telling you, oh, the MCU is dead and comics are fading and the market is crashing and woe is me and blah, blah, blah. And say, oh, I feel horrible. Or you could say, oh, discounts, sales, opportunities, sign me up. Are you a glasses half full or are you a glasses half empty? That's for you to decide. And remember, no matter what you answer to that, you can always change it. The only thing stopping you from succeeding at all is you and your mindset. Once you decide that today's the day, you are not going to continue going in the direction you've been going and take the chance elsewhere. Remember, ladies and gentlemen, most people are afraid to do things because it's the fear of the unknown. Well, let me ask you this. How many of you have gotten a Christmas present, a birthday present, or a gift from somebody you love where you were afraid to open it because you didn't know what was inside the box? Things can be as equally opportunistic and exciting as they can be pessimistic and scary. It's a matter of choice. Nobody gets a Christmas present and says, oh my God, I can't open this. I don't know what's in it. It could be something nasty. It could be a bomb. It could be disgusting. Nobody says that. What do? Even though it's unknown, you don't know what's in the box. What are you doing? You're excited. You're tearing it open. You can't wait to see what's inside. It's supposed to be fun. That's life's choice that I would recommend. And you'll keep finding deals. It'll be hard at first. It's like somebody that smoked for 50 years and then decides today's the day I want to quit smoking. You're going to go through withdrawals. It's not going to be fun at first. And you're going to want to quit. And you're going to want to give up. And you're going to want to go back. But why would you want it? Like they say in The Matrix, when Neo realizes that what the real world is all about. And they say to him, would you want to go back? I mean, if you could, would you even want to go back? Once you're awakened, you can never go back to sleep. So many people are so afraid of that, they'll stay asleep for their entire lives because it's safe, even though they claim to not be happy. If you are not happy in your current situation and you're not doing anything to fix it, that's not life's problem. That's a you problem. And until people are humble enough to assume and take responsibility for not only the choices they make, but the choices they're afraid to make, your life will never change. And I want to be one of the small channels that is not popular, that can inspire a few people that are willing to say, today is the day I'm ready to change my life, and I'm willing to do what it takes. Because if you think about it, you can make lots of money with comic books with very minimal amounts of effort. You don't have to go out in the freezing cold. You don't have to go out in the blazing heat. You don't have to go out when there's a hurricane. You don't have to go out when it's raining out. You don't have to lift up a shovel. You don't have to carry 500 pounds worth of material up a stair to a ladder to a roof. You don't have to sweat to death. You don't have to come home smelling like grease or dirt or sewage. You could sit at home with your family, look on a computer, buy deals, turn around and sell them, and watch the money come in. What's stopping you? Because you listen to the channel that has 1 million subscribers and has $140,000 video views? Does that make them a better person because they get views? That tells you the economy's bad and the market is crashing and woe is me? If you want to cry victim, okay, you'll get a pat on the back. If you want to glorify success, your family will pat you on the back. Lead by example. Inspire people. They're not going to get the views. Trust me, my videos are not going to get the views. I'm not going to get the high fives. I'm not going to get other channels doing shout outs of my videos. They're going to do everything they can to ignore me. And I'm perfectly fine with that. I want to inspire you guys, the very few that are still here right now. And by the lack of comments right now, I'm going to assume not many people are listening to this. So I'm not here to help the majority because the majority are followers. It's the minorities that change the world. The few people that stand up against oppression that change the world. The masses just follow along when it's convenient and safe. So I would be shocked if more than 10 people are listening to me right now. And if you're one of those 10, put it in the comments section. Let me know. And hopefully one day you'll be inspired to actually get up and make your life better. But have the realization to know that it doesn't happen overnight. When you run a marathon, there's the beginning of the race and there's an end of the race. But there's also that long part in between the two. So if you want to finish the race, first you have to start it and then you have to travel it. So the longer the race, the longer it takes. But the more rewarding it is when you succeed, when you look back and see how many people gave up or didn't even try. Remember, as Michael Jordan once said, you miss 100% of the shots you don't take. I would rather try and fail than to never try at all and look back and say, what if? And Daredevil, you're exactly right. Rome was not built in a day. So if you think that you're going to take my advice and you put a day's worth of knowledge in and you try to make a deal with two people and it doesn't work and you give up, if you think that's what it takes to become successful, then you will never be successful. There are very few people in this world that had companies built that were instant successes overnight. You have to work hard at it. But like I said, selling comic books is not like shoveling snow or being in the middle of a sewer, draining out a sewer, cleaning furnaces, putting tar in the roads at 100-degree heat. This is not work. You can have fun, do what you love, and make money off of it, and help others. Because every time I do an auction and people buy from me, you know what they are? Happy. And when they get the book, what are they? Excited. So I actually have a job, quote unquote, where I have fun doing what I do, putting in the time and years of effort to make it to this point, to where I can do an auction twice, maybe 3 times a year, make enough money to have all my bills paid each month, and make others happy to the point where they keep coming back to buy more. I get emails all the time from people saying, when are you doing your next auction? But you can listen to all those bigger YouTube channels that are talking about the drama and talking about the negativity and talking about all the bad stuff. If you want to hook your horse to that wagon, by all means, please do. But don't complain as you're being thrown off a cliff. I find deals. I make deals. It's not because I'm lucky. It's because I spent years learning, growing, losing the fear, trying to make deals happen. And I could make 20 deals and 19 of them say no. I don't focus on the 19 that said no, because if I get one that said yes, that's what I care about. It's like dating. You could date 99 women or men, whatever you're into, I don't care. But you can date 99 people that you're interested in, and they all dump you and break your heart. And then you meet the one person that you spend the rest of your life with. Which matters more, the 99 that are no longer in your life or the one person that will always be in your life? It's the power of one. Nobody cares about the X's that mean nothing to you because it hurts only for a little while. But when you meet the person of your dreams, you could give a rat's behind about all those others. Focus on not the masses, not the majority. Focus on the one. Because that's why I say all the time when it comes to sales, I don't care how many people are visiting my auction, because all I need is one person to buy one of my books and the sale is completed. I don't need 1,000 people to look at the book. I only need one. Because if you have 1,000 people, you could have 1,000 people that have no interest in buying it. They're just looking. I care about the one. So if you look at my auctions have about 100 to 200 views at the day they come out, and yet I'll sell about half of the books. And if you see my auctions, I don't sell dollar book comics. I sell key issues that start at prices like $500 and up. But because I do payment plans, which no one else does, and I do sneak previews, which no one else does, and I allow people to buy a week after the auction, which no one else does, I'm actually able to get more sales than most of these people do, and they'll spend 8 hours doing auctions, and they're lucky if they make $100. You're going to spend 8 hours on a video and walk out with $100 and think that's a success? Okay. So that's the end of my rant. Like I said, there's very few people that are listening, but right now we have Sketch and Mr. E. I hope you guys take some of my advice because it's free. Most people are afraid of free advice. You know why they tricked people into doing that? I bet you the people that sell you advice are the ones that tricked people into believing that if advice is free, it's not worth it because they want you to spend money on them. I'm not making any money on you succeeding. Trade Paper Dad is here. He says, did you get your FF39 back? Not yet. What I love is the fact that Daniel Patterson, the owner of PGX, said he was going to take 3 days to press that book for me at no extra charge. How many businesses do you know would do the things? I'm going to give him such a shout out when that video comes. I don't know the grade, and I can't wait for it to come back. Oh, yeah, no, I didn't even realize you had said that either. It's Tales of Suspense 39, not Fantastic Four 39. Big difference in books. But yeah, he said he was going to take 3 days for me to press that book out. You know, not for nothing, I have a channel that even though it says 10,000 subscribers, about 9,700 of them don't watch my videos. Why they're still subscribed, I don't know. Maybe they forgot or whatever. But, come on, Shy, what are you doing? But I don't have a big channel. And yet, he's going above and beyond for me and not charging me an extra dime. And he's allowing me to have a fast track. How many companies you know do that? And yet people will bash PGX all the time and yet give CGC a free pass. No matter what they do, constantly what they do to screw over their client base. For the sole reason that people say, oh, well, you can make a lot of money. Well, if your only incentive is to make a lot of money and you'll give a company that does literally things that are crooked a free pass, then that shows your morals. You know, is that like, oh, well, this YouTube channel, this one has 8 million subscribers and they have 50 million views on their channel, so they're allowed to commit murder or they're allowed to commit fraud because they're big and they're popular and we can make money off of them. Really? Is that the world that you want to live in? That companies like CGC could literally bend over their customer base and ram them up the behind? And you'll say, well, thank you, because I could make some extra money off of your service. So I'll look the other way when you do things that are potentially illegal. What a world. And then people like me stand up for that, and I'm the bad guy. That's the world we live in, ladies and gentlemen. SK Catch or Scatch says, I've gotten some books taking your advice. Also got my first graded Ultimate Fallout 4. Nice. Uncanny X-Men 128, First Kitty Pride. Good job. Yes, that I excited to get it. And see, that's what it should be about. Excited, happy, fun. Not the, oh my God, the sky is falling. That's a horrible way to live. It's a choice. But why would you want that? Wouldn't it be nice to be excited and have fun and look forward to things? To me, every time I get a box from something that I ordered, it's like Christmas. Who doesn't want to have Christmas every day? And knowing that you got them not because you bought it, because you had so much money you can buy it at full price and say, oh, look, I have Amazing Fantasy 15. I have Batman #1. I have Action Comics #1. Well, if you have $5 million in your bank account and you buy a $5 million book that's worth $5 million, well, you didn't really do anything special other than just buy something. But can you buy that $5 million book without having $5 million for under the $5 million it's worth? Can you buy it for 2 million? Can you buy it for 1 million? Can you trade something to get that book and not spend the dime? If I had $5 million, which I would love, I would not go out and buy a $5 million book just so I can say, oh, look at me. My ego needs to be filled. Look how special I am. No, if I had $5 million, I would buy a $5 million book and I'd wait until I could find it for 1 million and take that 4 million and buy some really nice things for my wife and maybe one or two things for myself and make sure my stray cats outside and the stray cats I've taken inside will never have to worry about a meal again. Choice is yours, ladies and gentlemen. You can be like everybody else, woe is me, or you can say, today's the day I decide to put in the effort to make my life turned around because it's ultimately my decision. Because remember, there are three things you can do in life. You can do something positive, you can do something negative, or you can do nothing at all. Each one has its own consequence because doing nothing is still doing something. Not making a choice is still making a choice. The only difference is when you decide out of fear that I'm afraid to do something, life will choose for you, and life tends to not do things the way you would hope it to be. It's like if you're standing in the middle of a stream that all of a sudden becomes a rapid. You can decide to swim against the current, which might make you stronger for a little while, but will exhaust you and eventually you'll drown. You could run out of the stream, or you can stand there in defiance and say, you know what? I'm not moving. Well, guess who's going to win? You or the stream? If you stand there with your arms folded, being stubborn and have an ego so strong that says, I didn't ask for this, but I'm going to stand here and I'm going to defy the rapids that are pushing and bombarding me. Well, guess what? You may last an hour. If you're super strong, you may last a day, but you won't last forever and you will be drowned. And it's not the river's fault that you chose to be an idiot. The river isn't evil. It's just doing what it does. If you want to stand there in defiance and say, well, my ego is so strong, I'm going to prove to the world how strong I am, and I'm not moving an inch, well, guess what? The stream is going to say, you think so? Watch what happens. So if you're afraid to make actions, life will make actions for you. If you want to stand there in the middle of the rapids bombarding you, saying that your ego or your fear is so great that you're not going to do anything and you think there's not going to be a consequence for that, watch what happens. And that's not life's fault, that's your fault. The day you can be humble enough to take responsibility is the day you can change your life for the better. Because you could stand in that rapid for an hour and be bombarded and bruised and tired and soaking wet. And if you decide, you know what, I'm not going to win, and you decide to get out of the stream, guess what? The river doesn't chase you. It just continually goes with the flow. You've decided to get the hell out of life's way. So make a choice. Or don't make a choice. And the world will make one for you that you probably won't like. And you're going to blame God, or you're going to blame life, or you're going to blame society, and you're going to blame this person, you're going to blame that word, or that president, or that politician, or that spiritual leader, instead of ever looking at yourself in the mirror and saying, boy, am I afraid to make a choice? Am I afraid to take responsibility? Nobody's life is meant to take care of anybody's life other than yours, other than maybe your mother or your father. Definitely your mother for most times. But you're responsible for your life at a certain point. Put on the big boy pants, stop listening to the negative Nancys in the world, and change your life. And in time, if you work hard, if you are consistent and persistent, if you educate yourself in the things that you love, if you go in it with excitement instead of fear, you will succeed. It just won't be the day after you decide to make this. If you have a New Year's resolution where you just say, today's the day I'm going to go to the gym and start working out, and you go to the gym January 1st and you work out all day, you don't wake up the next day and you're all of a sudden Arnold Schwarzenegger. You wake up the next day exhausted, in pain, and really questioning, is this the right move? It's going to take months, if not years, of dedication and continuation and belief in yourself to succeed, while everybody else is saying, oh, you should just stay home, or oh, that's too much, or oh, I would never do that. Well, those are the people you want to listen to? Sounds silly to me. So you could listen to those that are bigger channels, that have bigger egos, that care more about their views, that put clickbait and they do drama. You want to listen to those people? Go ahead. But don't cry when you spent your whole life listening to people that did nothing to inspire you, and you didn't inspire yourself, and you ended up in the same place you were 20 years ago. If you notice some of these channels that are all about drama and all about the negativity, you notice their channels stay consistent over the years. They don't grow. Those are the people you want to follow? Those are your inspirations? Okay. And that's why I live in many YouTubers' heads rent free, and I don't even remember their names. Not about ego. It's about believing in yourself, knowing yourself. But that doesn't mean you wake up one day and just say to God or to your spiritual leader or whatever, boy, I hope today's the day I change. If you don't get off your ass and get food, you're going to starve to death. Make it happen. So thank you very much. For those of you who watch this from beginning to end, put in the comment section how proud you are to be one of my power viewers or ultra power viewers. It matters to me. Not many people comment on my videos, but I prefer quality over quantity. I would rather have 10 people watch my channel that care about my advice and use it and they become successful than to have a million people who could only hear for their own personal gain and want to see some kind of drama take me down. Never going to happen. Because as a song once said, I get knocked down, but I get up again. Never ever going to keep me down. So remember, you're going to have to take steps back sometimes. But if you keep going, you will move forward and you will be stronger. Don't give up so quickly, because you never know what opportunity was right around the corner waiting for you that you gave up on because you didn't know it was there. Look forward to the future instead of dreading it. Make your future instead of waiting for it. Believe in yourself even when nobody believes in you. Because in the end, nobody gives a rat's behind about you more than you. So if you're waiting for somebody else to save you, you're going to be waiting a very long time. Stop waiting for Superman and realize you are Superman. And on that note, thanks for watching. If you want to support my channel and what I do, if you think my inspiration and my advice helps you to the point where you think putting $2 in for a Patreon account to help support not only me, but the stray cats that I take care of twice a day, every single day for the rest of their lives and my life, you can go to patreon.com/WeLoveComics. If I get 20 people by the end of this month, I'm trying to give away an X-Men 96 in what I believe to be about an 8.0 to 8.5 grade, worth between $200 and $250 that I will ship out anywhere around the world. $2 minimum to enter the contest, which is the minimum to join anybody's Patreon. But for every $2 you put in, you'll get one entry. So let's see if we make that happen. Right now we have 13 people in our shoutouts, and you'll get your name up there every single video I do. So if you want to support what I do, by all means, please do. If you can't, I understand. If you want to hit the like button or the dislike button, have at it. Have fun with it. And don't forget, it's not you, it's not I, it's We Love Comics. I'd love to hear what you thought about my message. I'd love to hear what you thought about my comic deal. And I'd love for you to critique my AI art. Until then, don't forget, it's not you, it is not I, it is We Love Comics. Thanks for watching, everybody. Enjoy the rest of your day. And don't forget to have your trolls spayed or neutered. I'll talk to you soon, everybody. Hang tough. Believe in yourself.